So I recently had the opportunity to do a guest masterclass with a friend that runs a pretty large consultancy firm for very old school type businesses. We're talking businesses that do millions of dollars annually, but no social media following or web presence, but they just run good businesses. And so he wanted me to show them the proper way to run lead formats. They get a pretty bad rap for being pretty dog shit quality. And so there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. A lazy marketer just runs them and zaps them off into oblivion and hopes for the best. A good marketer sets up proper infrastructure and proper friction to make sure that those leads are quality as well as quantity, because it's a very good way of dropping your cost per lead and into some cases even sub $10 per lead and still be able to maintain a high level of quality in those leads. In this masterclass, I show you how to set this up step by step to make sure that you're able to generate leads at a low cost per lead, as well as high quality leads that actually convert and make you money. So enjoy the masterclass.
We're going to go and create a new campaign. So again, we're going to want to select a lead here, obviously manual lead campaign. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and title this bottom of the funnel. Instead of lead, I'm going to call lead formed. It's still going to be interest. Let's say for the sake of this, actually, I'm going to show you guys how to make a lookalike audience real quick. Here's a lookalike audience and video ad. So if we go over into the ad set, actually, let's go back a step. Same things apply, right? So we go through here, Advantage Plus. Let's say we run this at $100 per day. A/B test is off. Ad scheduling. For the most part, we never really want to do any kind of like ad scheduling running on specific times a day or hours. We're going to go to instant forms. Instead of website, we're going to go instant forms. And I'm going to say this is a 3% lookalike. So there's our page there. You may have to accept some terms and conditions. And we'll want to go maximize number of leads. Don't worry about any kind of catalog here. It's for e-commerce. And so under Advantage Plus audiences here, this is where we're going to want to create some lookalike audiences. If we go to the business manager, and again, this is why it's critical why we use the business manager over Meta Business Suite. We can just navigate places a lot easier. We'll want to hit these three little lines here as all tools, and we'll want to go to audiences. So put a couple of different ways of doing this. If we click create lookalike, it'll give us a bunch of different sources. The best way to do this, and that I found, is you just select the audience that you want to create a lookalike audience from. I'm actually going to grab website traffic and create a lookalike audience from this. This is going to be United States. Let's turn to some different country. And I'm going to go broad here so you can see. So as I move this sliding scale, you see this estimated reach is going to increase. So at 1%, I have 2.8. At 3%, I have 8 million. 5%, I have 14 million. So the more you scale it, the more broad it's going to be. So this is basically saying I want my audience to be 1%, the top 1% similar on the website visitors of the last 90 days. If I scale this out, I want the top 10%, basically. So 10%, we have 20 million. I still like to go broad on this. I still like to go 3 million or 3%, 5%. Sometimes I will do 10% depending on the type of data that you're actually gathering. So if you're in HubSpot or High Level and you export all of your customer data and you upload it into Facebook and create a lookalike audience based off of that, that is a good place that you might do 10% lookalike audience based off of actual closed deals with revenue. That would be a good place to use that. But because this is a little bit further up in the funnel, website traffic, 90 days, I'm going to go 3%. So there we go. Now I got myself a lookalike audience. I pop over here. You can see the lookalike audience is in there. It will take a little bit of time to populate. It is available to use, but it will say populating as it's gathering data and importing people into that audience. So if it is populating, it might say below 1,000. Just keep in mind, like we just saw as you're creating it, this should be closer to 2 million people. And then we narrow this down, right? So that will actually reduce the number from that 8 million. So I'm going to go back to Dallas, 20 miles, and another one for Fort Worth at 18 miles. So yeah, so to give you guys an idea of use the potential lookalike audiences here. And so I would recommend using lookalike audiences if you have the customer data. Lookalike audiences based off engagement. I just kind of wanted to show you how to create that lookalike. Let's say this is 3% lookalike. Another tactic you can do here as well, something called lookalike stacking. See all these engagers, video views, things. Let's go 10-second video view, and we'll create a lookalike audience based off of that. So we'll create a 3% lookalike in United States, website visitors. Let's go. So we got video view, we'll go page engagers, again, 3%, page engagers, video view, website traffic, and we'll go Instagram, and we'll 3% as well. So now we have 4 different audiences, all at 3%. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stack all these together. pop in here. So let's go ahead and refresh. So now we went from an audience that's too narrow to about 1 million people with all those lookalikes stacked together. And so in the case that your lookalike audience is too narrow, consider stacking some different audiences together with the same percentage of lookalike. So these are all 3%. So you could do all of these combined at 5%. You could do Facebook page engagers, 90 days, 3%, Instagram page engagers, 90 days, 3%, and so on. You kind of get the point of how you can potentially mix and match your audiences here to A/B test them. I encourage you to think a little bit about this and do a little bit of due diligence and hard work on your actual performance marketing, right? You want to be testing, always be testing. Never settle for any status quo that you're currently getting. You can always keep improving. That's the curse and gift of being a marketer, is that you're always looking for that incremental improvement over time, right? You're always looking at, how do I improve my conversion rate? How do I improve my performance? So you're never going to reach 100%, but you can always keep trying, right? So test different audiences here. Let me show you how to create a lead form ad. And so there are some differences here. So with a lead form ad, do you remember when we would turn on some ads over here in our bottom of the funnel campaign, and we're able to take this and create into an existing post and daisy chain it across and generate the post ID? With lead forms, you do not have that capability. Once you publish the ad as a lead form, that ad is published and you cannot duplicate it. If you duplicate it, it creates a new ad. You see here, this option is available. Select this option, change the conversion location, choose another ad, or create in Creative Hub. Right. So long story short, you can't daisy chain the ad and you can't generate a post ID. So I'm going to go ahead and use the same creative here. We always leave these as original. Never want to crop it. Even though it says recommended, by the way, never crop this. Never do this 1-by-1 recommended. Simply because if you do, it's not going to generate this in a 3x5. So this, or 4x. So this is the 4x5. If you crop it, it's going to be a 1-by-1. It's not going to be a 3x5. You're going to take up less space on the newsfeed, and then everyone's going to die. Okay. So don't do it. Don't crop that 1-by-1. I think I forgot to mention that, but don't do it. So yeah, so we have our ad here. You just walked it out real quick. So we don't need to trim it. Original, good. All enhancements, good. Okay, we got our ad there. And here is where we could potentially A/B test some different copy. And I actually recommend this. For lead forms, I recommend using as many primary text, as many headlines as you can. Call to action, generally I pick learn more. So let's go ahead and grab some copywriting here. So it doesn't necessarily matter if you pair up the headlines as headline 1, primary text 1, headline 2, primary text 2. Doesn't really matter. It's going to get mix and match anyways. So as long as they're not like a continuation of the same copywriting, you should be okay. Simply because it's not going to match 1A, 1B. For example, it's gonna mix. And so I do often get questions of, is long form copywriting good? Is short form copywriting good? And I think short form is better right now. That doesn't mean it's going to continue to be better, but this is why we want to test some different formats. Oftentimes emojis work really well, so you could always try testing those. Those used to be really popular when it came to long form because it would grab attention. In this case, I actually like the creative to stand out more than the copywriting. So I want the creative to grab attention much less than the copywriting. But if you want to add emojis, you can definitely test it. Sometimes I honestly think it's a little bit spammy and can affect lead quality. So keep that in mind. If you test it and the lead quality starts to take a hit, then get rid of it. Like I said, always A/B test, but with the script that I gave you, you should have plenty of different variations of text that you can use, and you can always expand on it, remove from it, and go from there. All right. So instead of sending this to a landing page, we're going to create an instant form. So we have a few different options here on more leads, high intent, rich creative. I actually like high intent in most cases. So it also depends what your offer is. So high intent has a review screen. So it gets people to look at their information before they submit it. The more volume, it doesn't. They just click 3 or 4 buttons and it's submit. More volume can result in decreased lead quality. You should always see roughly about 60% of your leads be solid leads, right? Be somewhat qualified. At least you can get a hold of them, but at least 60% you should be able to be getting a hold of via text, email, phone call. A lot of these leads are not going to answer via phone call. Keep that in mind. So if you're calling them, On the non-answering, it's also the form. So don't let your sales team get frustrated if they're calling these leads and they're not picking up. What you can do on the high volume forms is you can add a custom question, right? So you can add a short answer, conditional, appointment requests, things like that. Improve the quality. The multiple choice I actually really like. Having it optional sometimes is good, sometimes not, right? Make this as simple as possible. So if they have like a HVAC unit, it's a 1-ton, 2-ton unit, different brands, and have there. If the question is related to the qualification process that's involved in your sales process, consider adding this multiple choice. If it's not, don't add it there. Only add it there if it helps your sales team qualify the leads. Okay. So for this, I'm going to go high intention. And the only questions I'm going to ask are going to be contact related questions. Name, email, phone number. That's all I'm going to ask. And actually you could ask city, state, postal code, street address, things like that, and just make them optional since those would be relevant pieces of information. But for I'm just going to go name, email, phone number. They're non-optional, mandatory. And so just say summit below request hydro jetting estimate. I'll just say hydro jetter leads for the lead form. This is required. You do have to add a privacy policy. So let me grab that real quick. Privacy policy. You can have a custom disclaimer if you want. The review option comes at the end. I normally like to change this just to make it a little bit more personal, right? And then it's just a link to the homepage of the website. And then this is the preview of the form, right? So people click the ad. The form opens up, pre-populates all their information. All they have to do is click continue. And then the review stage pulls up all their information, name, email, phone number, and they best slide to submit. So rather this being two just pre-fill, click submit, they do have to go through that extra step. So we'll go ahead and create that form. Cool. There you go. So that's the lead form right there. So now what we want to do, now that we have that created, go ahead and publish that. All right. And then last but not least, we want to make sure that these are going into your CRM. What we want to do here is if you're using high level, pretty simple to do. So right here, you can see event, Facebook lead form submitted, Facebook lead form. I do like to change the title list depending on the lead form that you have, because you might have multiple lead forms depending on your offer, right? So this is hydrojetting lead form. We'll say submit. Okay, so this is not finding anything in here. Let's double check that. Might have to relink that since we did just create it. Mistake. Okay, so we want to make sure our page is connected here, right? So you should have the ad account as well as the page, both connected. The page is there, ad account's there, and we're good to go there. So we go back over automation, grab our trigger here, lead form is, there we go. There's our hydrojetter form. Cool. And then, then we basically set up the contact. We could put this in the opportunities. So this would be full name. And this is just matching the different fields that we got. Source, able to grab a cell phone, email. And there you go. So you got your contact created. You can add it to the opportunity. And I usually like to do a full name here. Opportunity source. Well, that is open. Cool. And there we go. So we got our hydrojetter lead form. Cool. And there we go. So now once that form gets submitted, this will go right into high level. Okay. So let's say you don't have go high level. How do you get the forms into your CRM? So I recommend Zapier. Zapier, you will need this for later on for things like offline conversions and importing the data back into the algorithm, which we'll talk about in a different updated version later down the line, but you will need this. So I do recommend ponying up the 20, 30, 40 bucks to get Zapier. But once you do, let's say you don't have Zapier yet and you need it for HubSpot or Pipedrive. Here's what we want to do. So we want to hop in here and create a new Zap. And again, this is a pro version that allows you to do this. You'll want to do Facebook lead ad. New lead is created. All right, you'll want to select your page. So here's our plumbing page, hydrojetting leads. I don't think there's a pull in a lead. I might pull in a test lead. Okay, cool. Let's pull in some dummy test info here. We'll do that. And then we can pretty much zap this wherever we want to. We have HubSpot here. We can do this in the Pipedrive. Pipedrive is also an option here. Any different CRM that you could possibly be using for the most part is going to be available unless you're using a closed API. I believe Service Titan's also in here, Service Fusion. Pretty much all of them will be available. Housecall Pro should also be in here, Housecall Pro. So any other CRM that you could possibly be using is going to be available in here. So let me see if I can use House Call Pro as an example here. So this does require an API key, so we won't give that one as an example. Top of my mind here. We'll just grab a HubSpot one here. So here's HubSpot connection here, and then you would just match up the different fields with all the different data points here. We can also search, which I always find really useful for fun if there's a ton of data fields, which oftentimes there is. So we got work email there, member emails. We can match some of these up here. Test Facebook lead there. So we'll add first name to, or full name to first name. But yeah, so once we match up all these fields here, phone number, right? So we just test that real quick. This should fire up, and then so this gave us false. But so like I said, this is how you can import those leads automatically anytime a lead comes in, pretty much instantly into the CRM, and then all the automation that your CRM is capable of, you can have the CRM take it from there. I'd recommend that rather than having the automation take place inside of Zapier, because that'll use up a lot of Zap. So there you have it. That's how you set up some lead form ads, right? So pretty much the same thing. Create a campaign objective for lead. The lead object then becomes instant forms. Build your audience as you normally would. The lead form ad then gets created. Create some variation in primary text and headlines. Learn more call to action. Enhancements on, create your form, and set up your automation to import in your CRM, and you're good to go. Hope that is useful. See you in the next module.